Get this, 40% of what we do every single day, it's not even conscious decisions, it's habits. That's almost half our lives on autopilot. Kind of makes you wonder, are those autopilot actions actually helping us, or maybe not so much? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today, the power of habits, especially the healthy kind.
Yeah, it really is incredible how much we do without even thinking about it.
Right. So we're diving deep into a really interesting episode of the Healthy Cast podcast, all about the benefits of healthy habits. And by the end of this deep dive, you'll not only be totally pumped to start some healthy routines, but you'll also get the science behind why even tiny changes, if you do them consistently, can lead to some seriously big life transformations.
The thing is, so many people get tripped up because they don't really understand what a habit even is.
Yeah, I get that. We all have them, but what's the science? How do they actually form in our brains?
Well, a habit, when you break it down, is really just a behavior, anything you do, but it's a behavior that's been repeated so many times that it becomes automatic. And the thing that triggers it is a cue, something specific. And the secret sauce is the reward, like something good happens after you do the thing. Like just imagine brushing your teeth every morning after you wake up.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So the cue is waking up, right? The action, the behavior is the brushing, and then the reward is that awesome, clean feeling you get,
Right, like a loop cue, then the behavior, then the reward. And the more we go around that loop, the more it gets stuck in our heads. We can think about, all the not-so-good habits, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, mindlessly snacking or scrolling on your phone for hours. Those become automatic, too.
Totally. And the reason our brains are so into habits is they're super efficient. Once a habit is formed, it basically gets filed away in this part of the brain called the basal ganglia, and that's the part that helps us do stuff automatically, which frees up our brains to think about other, more complicated stuff. It makes sense when you think about it from a caveman perspective.
Yeah.
Way back when, our ancestors needed all their brain power for things like hunting and gathering food, right? So habits let them do the routine stuff without using up all that precious mental energy.
Makes sense. But hold on, if we're hardwired for efficiency, doesn't that kind of make us less flexible, less able to change? How do we break those really strong habits, especially the ones we know aren't good for us?
Yeah, that's the flip side of the coin. That efficiency can kind of backfire because bad habits become just as automatic as the good ones if we're not paying attention. But the cool thing is, once we understand how habits work, we can actually hack the system and use it to our advantage. That's where building healthy habits comes in. We can actually rewire our brains.
That's what I'm talking about. And we're not just talking about little things here, right? We're talking habits that impact our health, how we feel mentally, even our relationships. In that Healthy Cast podcast episode, they talked about some crazy benefits, and I'm really curious to dig into those.
Oh, yeah, it's some seriously cool stuff. And one thing that they emphasized is how healthy habits don't just benefit you, they actually have this ripple effect on the people around you, too. Think about it when you start making positive changes, the people you're close to, they see it, and it can inspire them to do the same.
Wait, seriously, so my healthy habits can be, contagious?
Exactly. It's like this chain reaction of positive influence. It goes back to that awesome quote by James Clear, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." Building those healthy habits, that's building the systems that actually get you to your goals, whatever they are, whether it's better health or more energy or anything, really.
I love that. So it's not just about willpower. It's about setting yourself up for success by creating a framework of positive routines.
Exactly. So are you ready to dive into some of those amazing benefits they talked about on the podcast?
Oh, definitely. Hit me with it. I know they talked about the physical benefits, which I'm always up for hearing about,
Oh.
more energy, living longer, sleeping better. Who wouldn't want that?
Right. It's a pretty awesome list. And it's all based on science, too. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, not smoking, all of these have been proven to have a huge impact on how healthy we are physically. Actually, there was a study they mentioned in the podcast that found if you adopt 5 key healthy habits, you could actually add over a decade to your life.
Oh, a whole decade. That's wild. It really puts into perspective how much power we have over our own health and how long we live. But it's not just about living longer, right? It's got to be about feeling good while you're doing it.
Exactly. It's about having enough energy to actually do the things you love, feeling good in your own skin. That's what really matters. And then there's the mental benefits too, like better focus, less stress, even feeling happier overall. These are all areas where healthy habits can make a huge difference.
Now, this is where I get really interested. I know when I work out, it puts me in a better mood, helps me de-stress. But what's the science behind that? How does it actually work?
Well, The thing is, when you exercise, your body releases these things called endorphins, and they're basically like natural mood boosters and painkillers.
Yeah.
And these endorphins, they actually go and interact with these receptors in your brain, and that's what reduces your perception of pain and triggers those feelings of happiness and well-being.
So that's why I feel so good after a good sweat session. It's like a natural high. But what about those days when I can't fit in a full workout? Are there other habits that can help with my mental health?
Oh, totally. Things like mindfulness and meditation have been shown to lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, and that helps you feel calmer and more centered.
So it's like a double dose of chill for your brain.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's not just about the physical and mental benefits. Healthy habits also affect our emotions too, right?
You got it. Our habits and emotions are super connected. Every time you stick to a healthy habit, you're basically strengthening your self-trust. You're showing yourself you can do what you set out to do.
That makes sense. It's like building confidence with each healthy choice you make. But how does that tie into our relationships with other people?
Think about it this way. When you feel good about yourself, it's easier to be there for the people you care about, right? You have more patience, you have more energy, and you can really be present in your interactions with them.
So taking care of myself actually helps me be better in my relationships with others. It's like a positive ripple effect.
Exactly. Plus, having healthy habits helps you build resilience, emotional resilience.
Yeah.
So when life inevitably throws those curveballs, you're better equipped to handle them without totally losing it.
Like building up your inner strength muscles to weather any storm. I love this, but I bet our listeners are dying to know, how do we actually build these amazing habits?
Yeah.
Like, where do we even start?
Well, the good news is the Healthy Cast podcast gave us some fantastic tips that we can actually use. And the first one is super simple. Start small.
That's the best news I heard all day.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get so overwhelmed by the idea of changing everything at once that we end up doing nothing at all.
Exactly. And that's a recipe for burnout and giving up before you even really start. The trick is to just pick one tiny habit and focus on that. So instead of trying to change your entire diet overnight, what if you just focused on drinking more water each day? Or if a full workout feels impossible, how about just 10 minutes of movement?
Small changes, big impact. I love that. What else did they recommend?
Another awesome tip is to use what they call triggers. Basically, you link the new habit you're trying to build with something you already do automatically, an existing habit.
Okay, so like if I wanted to start meditating, I could do it right after I brush my teeth in the morning.
You got it.
Yeah.
You're making a mental connection that makes it way easier to remember the new habit and stick with it. It's like hitching a ride on an already established routine.
So smart. What other golden nuggets did they drop?
They really emphasize the importance of rewards, celebrating your wins no matter how small they seem. Like maybe you get to watch your favorite show after a workout, or you treat yourself to a healthy smoothie after a week of eating mindfully.
I love rewarding myself. It's like giving yourself a little pat on the back for all your hard work. Okay, so we've got starting small, using triggers, and rewarding ourselves.
Yeah.
What else is super important in this whole habit-building journey?
Consistency, my friend, consistency. It's not about being perfect every single day. It's about showing up and doing your best, even when you don't feel like it. Aim for progress, not perfection.
So true. There will be days when we rock it, and there will be days when we, fall off track a bit. But as long as we hop back on that wagon, we're good.
Exactly. Missing a day or two won't ruin all your progress. And speaking of support, they also talked about how important it is to find your people, your tribe. Having a friend, family member, or even like an online group to cheer you on and hold you accountable can make a world of difference. Oh, absolutely. It's so much easier to stay focused on our goals when we know we're not in it alone. Having someone in our corner can really boost our motivation.
And to top it all off, the Healthy Cast podcast shared some truly inspiring stories about real people who completely transformed their lives by making these small, consistent habit changes.
Oh, I love those kinds of stories. They're so motivating. Can you tell me about one of them?
Absolutely. There was this woman named Jane.
Wait, hold that thought. That story deserves its own spotlight. Let's take a quick pause and come right back to Jane's amazing transformation.
Okay, so Jane, she was this busy mom of 3. And, like a lot of parents, she was always putting everyone else's needs before her own.
Yeah, I feel that.
She was just exhausted, overwhelmed, and feeling totally run down.
Oh, I can so relate to that. Parenting's like a marathon, not a sprint. It's so easy to get caught up in taking care of everybody else and forgetting about yourself.
Exactly. And for Jane, it had gotten to the point where she knew something had to change, but she didn't try to overhaul her whole life at once. Good for her.
Instead, she started with just one tiny habit: drinking a glass of water every morning.
Wow, that is starting small. But I guess even something that simple can have a big impact. Did she notice a difference?
That's the cool thing. Once she made that one little change and started feeling even a little bit better, it gave her the motivation to add another healthy habit and then another. It's like a domino effect of positive choices.
So it's like that snowball effect we were talking about. One positive change leads to another. What other habits did she add?
For Jane, drinking more water led to taking short walks every day, and then that got her to start eating more fruits and vegetables. She found that by focusing on just one small change at a time, she was able to gradually build a healthier lifestyle without feeling completely overwhelmed.
That's so inspiring. It shows that you don't need to make these huge changes to see amazing results. What kind of impact did this have on her life?
The impact was incredible. She had way more energy, was sleeping better, and felt more patient and present with her kids. It's pretty amazing how these small habits can make such a huge difference in how we feel overall.
It's like remembering that we have more control over our lives than we think. Just by making a few choices, we can totally change our health and happiness. Did they share any other stories on the podcast?
Definitely. They also talked about this guy named Mark who had been dealing with anxiety for years.
Oh, anxiety is tough. I'd love to hear how he found relief. Did he start with a small habit too?
Yep. Mark had heard about how good mindfulness and meditation could be, so he decided to give it a shot. He started with just 5 minutes of meditation each day, using an app to help him stay focused.
That's awesome. It's so encouraging to hear that even just a few minutes can make a difference.
Did he notice any changes?
It was a game changer for him. He found that those 5 minutes helped to quiet all those racing thoughts in his head and feel more grounded. He was basically building up his mental fitness just like you would train your muscles at the gym. I love that analogy. Taking care of our mental health is just as important as taking care of our physical health. Did he stick with his meditation?
He did. And as he kept practicing, his anxiety decreased a lot. He was able to concentrate better, he wasn't so reactive to stress, and he felt more in control of his emotions. It just shows you the power of consistency and how even these small daily practices can completely transform things.
These stories are so inspiring. It's like a reminder that healthy habits aren't just some abstract idea. They can truly change our lives in such a real way. It's never too late to start.
Exactly. No matter where you are on your journey, you can always start incorporating healthier habits. It's all about that first step, however small, and building from there.
It's about setting up systems that support you, not hold you back, and celebrating those wins along the way. It's amazing how connected everything is: the physical, mental, emotional, and even social benefits of healthy habits. It's like this big web of well-being.
Well said. When you make one area better, it has this positive impact on all the other parts. It's really empowering because it means that even small changes can have a ripple effect that goes way beyond what we might initially think.
I love that. It's like planting a tiny seed that can grow into this amazing tree. But like anything good, building healthy habits is a journey, not a destination.
That's so important to remember. There are going to be ups and downs, times when you're doing great and times when you slip up. The important thing is to just keep learning, keep adjusting, and keep going. It's not about perfection. It's about the process and celebrating every step you take.
So true. And remembering that small wins are still wins, right?
Yeah.
Celebrate them, because every time you choose a healthy habit, you're choosing to invest in yourself, your well-being, and your future.
Couldn't have said it better. It's about owning your health and your happiness, one habit at a time. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the amazing world of healthy habits, I've got a question for all our listeners. What one healthy habit will you commit to today?
That's a great question. And remember, it doesn't have to be anything huge. It could be drinking an extra glass of water, taking a quick 5-minute walk, trying a few minutes of meditation, or just being grateful for something good in your life. It all starts with that first step, right? What will yours be? We want to know. Tell us in the comments what healthy habit you're going to commit to today.
I love that. We can all learn from each other and, celebrate those little victories together.
For sure. And hey, even if you trip up along the way, don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, just get back on track,
Exactly. It's about progress, not perfection. Always.
I couldn't agree more. This has been such an awesome deep dive into the power of habits. I'm feeling super inspired to level up my own routine and get those benefits.
Me too. It's like a wake-up call that we really do have more control over our well-being than we think.
Totally. Those small changes can really make a huge difference.
So if you're digging this deep dive, hit that subscribe button and give us a like. It helps so much.
Yeah, it really helps us get this message out to more people.
And hey, if you know someone who could use a little inspiration to get healthier, share this episode with them. Thanks for hanging out with us on this journey. Until next time, keep crushing those small wins. They add up, you know?
Absolutely. Take care and keep leveling up your life.